Hey, what's going on, guys? Richie Fix here, back with another video, and wow, busy Friday as we finally get our big pre-order announcement for Honda. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take a look at all the promotional pictures that we have received, talk about the pre-order, when to get it, where to get it, the price, all the good stuff, and my overall thoughts on how the Honda turned out, as this is the first time that we are actually seeing a final production of Honda. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go. Taking our first look at the final production Honda, as mentioned, I don't know that we've actually ever seen the final product of Honda. We've seen close renditions to this, but not actually in its final form, and I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I actually like this thing a lot. This might be my favorite Street Fighter to date. Just the overall sculpt, the way it turned out, and this is going to incorporate the new Jada articulation, the 1.5 articulation, but taking a look at the actual figure, I mean, he's big, he's bulky, I like the head sculpts. The chest to me is still a little bit weird, that piece. I don't know why it seems so much more pronounced than, you know, the other figures. Like, it almost looks like that scene from See My Vest, Mr. Burns song to me for some reason. But regardless, I don't know how else you'd really do it. But I like the ab sculpture. That turned out really good. The legs, the arms look all good. What really impresses me is the hand effect and how good that actually looks, as we'll see in some pictures, in some of the later pictures here. But you do get an additional head sculpt, the effect piece. I'm sure there's a stand that's not pictured here. Maybe not. I don't know if it needs one. I think you just plug his hand in. Maybe his arm can actually hold the weight of this effect. We'll have to see in the pictures, but you are going to get some open hands as well. But nonetheless, man, oh, goodness gracious, this thing, it looks absolutely phenomenal. So let's go take a look at the run-through through all the other promotional pictures. We'll talk about the price, where you can get it, when it's set to release, and we'll go from there. That is going to be Honda as far as everything that he comes with. Now, the details as far as how, when, how much, let's get it going on that. So Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth are going to be the places that probably put this up for pre-order on Monday, which is going to be November 24th. Price on this is going to be $35.99. Now, I still get people, even though I've done countless videos on the pricing of these guys. So AKUMA was our last standard price figure as far as being like a normal size character that fit in the traditional Jada box. The rest of these figures are considered deluxe characters where they needed a bigger box due to their size, and that includes Balrog. I saw somebody say, why is Balrog more expensive than AKUMA? He is considered a deluxe figure, bigger box, so that's why he gets the $5 upcharge, along with Honda, ZANGIEF, and T-Hawk. They're all going to be $35.99, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. $35.99 for the bigger characters. It's not a price increase or anything. They've always been, all the deluxe characters so far have been $5 more than their traditional counterpart as far as the standard size. So just know that's not Honda. Balrog, Zangief, all of them, they're getting $35.99. Now, the one thing we don't know yet is set to be announced is when this is set to release. Now, if I had to guess, I would say probably March or April. When we get into April, that's quarter two. April, May, that's probably going to be quarter two. That's probably where I expect to see this one. Somewhere in the April, May, maybe a few trickle out from China in the March territory. But as far as Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, the Amazons of the world, they're probably going to see that closer in that April, May time frame. So, but it is a good sign because that means they're on track, right? I still stand by my position last night where I don't feel we'll see alpha figures next year. I do think ultimately we will see this roster complete, right? And this is a good sign of that because I feel like people not have lost confidence in Jada, but have almost feel like a little let down by some of the word choices that Jada has used. In particular, JUHN. We all love JUHN. It's nothing against JUHN. It's business. It's not personal. But I feel like there's been, it almost seems like a lack of interest for more. I mean, it just seems like when he talks about Street Fighter, it doesn't seem like the same pep is there, right? Granted, he's worked on it a long time, so I mean, things that, you know, what you were once excited for. Once you've done it a long time, maybe that same excitement's not there. But you hear things like, maybe not going to be as much of a priority. We're going to focus on Invincible, things like that. And people start to say, well, that's all good and dandy, but, you know, we found Jada toys because of Street Fighter. I mean, they had put out a few figures, a few food mascots, a few, you know, Universal monsters and things like that. But, you know, Jada really put their name on the map outside of diecast and in action figures because of Street Fighter. So to hear that they might not be front and center stage anymore as much as they used to be, it's a little discouraging to say the least. But, you know, that could be an overreaction to some degree. I think JUHN is just, I think, like I said in my last video, the schedule for 2026, I think he's just ready to get this roster done and move on to Alpha. I think he sees what Storm is doing, and he's really excited to bring out the 2.0 bodies and articulation that have the better plastic, that have the better articulation and everything like that. But, again, where does the price happen with all that? Is there a price increase? I really don't know that that's been addressed. I've gone back and looked. There's been hints that it could be higher, but nothing's really been etched in stone as far as where those new Alpha 3 figures are going to be. And, I mean, granted, they are still at a fine pace as far as completing the roster, but you can't say that this year, where we only got the 3 new characters, and, I mean, that's not the greatest year as far as trying to complete this roster. And there's plenty of people out there that are patient for that, and that's fine. But when you are no longer the only man in the race producing Street Fighter, where it's so close to the same game. Like, granted, there are going to be a few characters like Honda, I don't think is going to be produced for Alpha anytime soon on Storm's front. So they're fine there. But there are other characters that, you know, Balrog, AKUMA, you know, Storm's working on those characters. Granted, it's a different game, a different style from those characters, but, you know, not everyone wants to. Not everybody is completing each game, you know? They just want that one representation of that character, and it's like, if they have to choose, I don't know that Jada's always going to win that battle. So, it's not to say that, you know, they're not doing a great job, because that's far from the truth. In fact, we don't have Storm Arena without Jada. They're the godfathers. They've put pretty much Street Fighter 6-inch action figures on the map. Or, excuse me, 1/12. They're considered 1/12 is what it says on their page, or at least at the con, that's what it said. So, I mean, it's a great start. It's very it's very, not inspirational, it's very motivating to see that we're already getting this Honda pre-order. Now, JUHN said the next pre-orders will be the Zangief and T-Hawk, and those should be early in 2026, according to him. But what is early? Is that January? Is that February? I'm guessing probably towards the end of January, early February, if I had to guess. And then those will probably have a Q3 release date. And then we're all finished. Now, do we squeak out an Alpha 3? Maybe, again, 1 to 10. My confidence on that, it's probably at a 2 out of 10. But again, you know, I just want this roster finished, and then we can focus on Alpha once everything is all said and done with this game. And that's not far behind. So, great to see it. Monday is when you'll see that. We'll find out. Pretty much the only thing we need to find out is when this is set to release, but I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to be late Q1, early Q2. So, other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you on the next one. Richie Figs. Later.